Welcome, math class. I'd like to welcome Drake, international superstar, #1 selling artist of all time, to our math class. Welcome, Drake. And if you could say one thing about our math class, what would it be?
Just one of the most intelligent people I've ever met, Scrabble champion.
Thank you so much for that. And I do feel bad that I'm going to have to absolutely destroy you in a rap battle momentarily.
Like, do you have any sort of idea of what's going on back home? Like, do you know that I dropped this album?
Hey guys, stay tuned after the lesson video to see who wins, Mr. Cartwright or Drake, in the most epic rap battle of the century, if you started the century yesterday. Take it away, Mr. Cartwright, with some math. What is up, my 8th grade? Welcome to day 24 of your fabulous online curriculum. I'm proud of you that you made it this far. And remember, we have a test on Tuesday. So Tuesday we have a test. Wednesday we kind of have a light synchronous activity. And so will Thursday, bringing us to the end of quarter one. Woo! On your test, there will be two main things that you need to know how to do. Number one, you will have to be able to work with dilations and scale factor, which is what we're going to go over today. Number two, you will have to be able to write an equation for a line, which we went over yesterday, and we're going to review a little bit today. So let's start off right there. So here I have a line and our equation. Remember, our equation for a line is always going to be y equals the slope times x plus where it crosses the intercept. So y equals mx plus b is one of the greatest things of 8th grade algebra. So over here we have a line, and I'm going to ask you guys to do this on your own. This line crosses the y-intercept, or the y-axis, at 0, -3. To go from one point to the next point, we have to go to the right 3 and down 3. You're going to plug all of this into our y equals mx plus b equation, which I've kind of laid out for you right here, and I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to work on it. So please try to write this equation, right? Cross is at -3. Slope is 3 over -3. All right. So when we plug in our purple value for x, that would be a 3 on bottom. Our down value is a -3, and that goes on top. So our slope in this case is -3 over 3, or -1. And we don't do anything to the x, the y, or the equal sign. And then where do we cross? We cross at -3. So our correct equation should be y equals -3 over 3, x minus 3. Most teachers would like you to reduce that -3 over 3 just to a -x. Hopefully that felt like review. Moving on to scale. So scale is a common number that we multiply by to get from one shape to the other. How we figure out this scale is we create a proportion. We put wherever we're going to over wherever we're coming from. So we have two corresponding sides here, right? They're on the same relative place of the triangle. We got 3, we got 1.5. We're going to go ahead and put 3 on the bottom. I am going from, doesn't look like it, but the bigger triangle to the littler triangle, right? Because I'm going to need to find out what x and y are. In this case, 3 goes on bottom and 1.5 goes on top. What I've just done here is I have found the scale factor. So if all I was asking for was the scale, 1.5 over 3, I'm done, right? I just take a corresponding side that I'm going to, put it on top of the fraction, where I'm coming from goes on the bottom of the fraction, and we have our scale factor. So now that we have scale factor, what good is it? Well, it can tell us what all the other values are. First, let's find out what x is. So if we take our 4 value, right? If we take 4 and we multiply it by the scale factor, we should get x. In this case, we know what the scale factor is. It's 1.5 divided by 3. So if we take 4 and multiply it times 1.5 divided by 3, we will get our answer x. Mr. Kari is going to go ahead and at this point reduce 1.5 over 3 to 1/2. And 4 times 1/2 would be 2. So we know that x equals 2. Okay. Finally, for our y value, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to multiply 5 times our scale factor, which was 1/2. And we will get y to equal 5 times 1/2 is 2.5. Very good. We found both sides of that triangle. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to first create the scale factor. And second, tell me what x value is. I will give you guys about 30 seconds. If that is too short of a time, please pause the video. Okay, Mr. Cartwright hates waiting, so I'm going to go ahead and start it. First off, I always like to determine which direction I'm going. So to find that x value, I need to go from the bigger rectangle to the smaller one. This is a 1.7, and that is a 4, and a 12, and an x. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take where I'm going and put it on top. So 1.7 goes on top of my fraction. And I'm going to put where I'm coming from, and that goes on bottom. And 4 is the shape that I'm coming from. Now we have our scale factor, 1.7 over 4. Yeah, awesome. Way to go, Mr. Cartwright. Thank you for picking an easy number. So what do we do with our scale factor now that we found it? Very good. All we have to do is we have to multiply our scale factor by 12. So 12 times 1.7 over 4. I'm going to convert 12 into a fraction, so 12 over 1. And then multiply. We go straight across the bottom, so we get 4 on bottom. And 12 times 1.7 is not that difficult, right? Remember our decimal rule. We count how many decimals are. There's 1, and then we get rid of it. So 12 times 17 with 1 decimal in our answer. 7 times 12 is 84. And then 1 times 12 is 120. We get 204. And remember, we have 1 decimal. So the correct answer for x should be 20.4 is on top, divided by 4. And does that make sense? It should be about half as much as 12. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and 5 is about half as much as 12. So good job, guys. All right, just a quick review of lines. Remember, we find the intercept, right? And it goes in the last part of the equation, right? Intercept goes in the last part of the equation, and slope goes right in front of that x. Remember, slope is found by counting how much it goes left or right, putting that on bottom, and how much it goes up or down, and putting that on top. So hopefully you can write an equation, you can use scale factor to get from one shape to another, and you can find scale factor. If you have questions on any of these, please return to the live classroom at this time, and let me know what they are. Have a great day.
What up, Glenwood? Shout out to my customers. Let's get this going, y'all. I spit rhymes like wine. Most people out here complain about the corona time. But while Drake be rolling in the digits, Mr. Cartwright out here reaching his limits. Ah! What's up, Thanos? What are you doing here?
And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution.
Stopping the math class?
But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. They called me a madman.
Get out of my math class. Math class. I don't feel so good.